atau kuyu. Lupa kejadian di waktu-waktu terakhir.
Government mulls 5 paddy planting seasons every 2 years. Proposal to raise scrap rubber price being considered. Hello, good evening and salam Malaysia Badani. Thanks for joining us. I'm Brennan Paul and you're watching Malaysia Tonight. Now, the government will consider the 5 seasons in 2 years paddy cultivation initiative as one of the efforts to improve the country's agro-food ecosystem. Now, the matter was decided in the Cabinet Committee on the National Food Security Policy, JKSMN, meeting number 1, 2023, chaired by Prime Minister Dato' Sri Anwar Ibrahim yesterday. The meeting also considered the efforts by the Federal Agricultural Marketing Authority, FAMA, to ensure the availability of food supply and the proposal to establish the closed house breeding system for productive and safe farm management. According to the Prime Minister's office in a statement today, a total of 3 papers were examined to improve the country's agro-food ecosystem, especially in achieving the targeted level of food security. According to the statement, the government, through the Agriculture and Food Security Ministry, KPKM, is working to implement various initiatives to reduce trade deficit by strengthening research and development activities for seed varieties planted in the country. KPKM also strives to improve the export performance of agricultural-based downstream products and boost domestic food production activities. The government's effort to continue the subsidies and price control for chicken and eggs proves that the proactive measures taken are timely to help the people. Now, Domestic Trade and Cost of Living Minister Dato' Sri Salahuddin Ayub said although the government has to bear a subsidy cost of 200 million ringgit a month, it needed to be done to ensure that the people's welfare are protected, especially concerning basic needs.
Kita telah mengambil kira tentang rakyat yang masih memerlukan bantuan kerajaan khususnya untuk mendapatkan protein yang paling murah ini, iaitu ayam dan telur. Jadi semalam kerajaan tidak keberatan untuk menyambung terus pemberian subsidi itu demi untuk kita memastikan rakyat dapat membeli harga ayam dan telur dengan harga yang dikawal oleh kerajaan.
He said this to reporters after launching the Kelantan-level retail sector digitalization initiative and Menu Rama at Pasar City Khadijah in Kota Baru today. Yesterday, the government announced that the provision of subsidies and price control over chicken and eggs would continue from 1st July. The Agriculture and Food Security Ministry and the Domestic Trade and Cost of Living Ministry, in a joint statement, said the decision was made after taking into account all aspects, including ensuring that the chicken and egg industry remains sustainable. Meanwhile, Dato' Sri Salahuddin said the government is targeting some 30,000 traders nationwide to be registered under the Retail Sector Digitalization Initiative program by the end of this year. A proposal to raise the floor price of scrap rubber to at least 3 ringgit per kilogram will be brought to the Ministry of Finance, MOF, for due consideration. Deputy Prime Minister Dato' Sri Fadillah Yusof said the proposal was based on requests from smallholders who described the amount as appropriate following the increasing cost of agricultural inputs. He said previously in the 2023 budget it was raised from 2 ringgit 50 cents to 2 ringgit 70 cents, but there are still requests from growers to raise the floor price again. Dato' Sri Fadillah hoped the MOF would consider it according to the government's capabilities.
Input untuk peladangan sekarang ni naik, khususnya baja dan sebagainya. Situlah mereka melihat bahawa untuk balik modal, mereka melihat bahawa RM3 itu merupakan apa yang mereka harapkan. Jadi saya akan membawa balik kepada peringkat kerajaan, kabinet dan akan mencadangkan kepada Kementerian Kewangan untuk melihat sama ada boleh dipertimbangkan tidak mengikut kemampuan sedia ada kerajaan.
He said this after flagging off the Plantations and Commodities Ministry KPK Northern Zone's Commodity Trek event in Kuala Kangsar today. Previously, there was a proposal to review the floor price of scrap rubber to at least 3 ringgit per kg compared to the 2 ringgit and 70 cents announced in Budget 2023. Meanwhile, Dato Sri Fadila, who is also the Minister of Plantations and Commodities, said in his speech that today's tracking event is part of a program to go to the ground to meet customers and stakeholders of KPK year 2023. The program targets 3 zones, which are the northern part of the peninsula, Sabah and Sarawak. The northern zone of the peninsula is the first destination of the program. Deputy Prime Minister Dato Sri Dr. Ahmad Zahid Hamidi today received a memorandum on the establishment of the Gig Economy Commission of Malaysia, SAHIH, which is aimed at protecting the well-being of gig workers in the country. Now, the memorandum was sent by 3 representatives of workers' organisations, namely the Malaysian Trades Union Congress, MTUC, Malaysian Hailing Riders Association, Penghantar, and Malaysian E-Hailing Coalition. In his policy speech at the UMNO General Assembly 2023 yesterday, Dato Sri Ahmad Zahid proposed the establishment of SAHIH to regulate the gig industry ecosystem in the country. He said this proposal was also to safeguard the welfare of the whole economic chain of the industry, beginning from service providers to suppliers, workers and consumers.
Jadi hari ini mereka datang bukan sekadar untuk menghantar memorandum tetapi mengucapkan terima kasih di atas inisiatif UMNO yang membawa perkara ini. Dan UMNO akan memperjuangkan nasib pekerja-pekerja gig di seluruh negara, insya-Allah.
The UMNO president said this to reporters after receiving the memorandum at the World Trade Center, WTC, Kuala Lumpur. Meanwhile, MTUC President Muhammad Effendi Abdul Ghani said SAHIH was expected to benefit gig economy workers as their welfare had not been well taken care of lately. The Ministry of Health is looking to expand cancer treatment centres across the country to ensure equitable access to high-quality cancer treatment and palliative care for patients. Health Minister Dr. Zaliha Mustafa said most cancer treatment centres were currently located in major cities, especially in the Klang Valley, which forced cancer patients from small towns to travel a significant distance to receive treatment.
Jadi itu adalah plan jangka panjangnya, ya. Dia membantu dari banyak sudut, ya. Pertamanya, of course, bila patient atau pesakit bila dia nak mendapatkan rawatan dalam keadaan yang sakit, dia perlu jalan jauh, ya. Kemudian dari sudut apa orang kata kos dia, kemudian macam mana bila datang tu tak boleh seorang, kena datang dengan keluarga dan sebagainya. So banyak perkara yang kita perlu fikirkan tentang rawatan kanser ini.
She said this after launching Against All Odds, a tribute in the nation's capital today. She said the ministry recognized the need to enhance the capacity and capabilities of healthcare facilities in the country, particularly in the field of oncology, which includes investing in advanced technologies and training healthcare professionals. During her opening speech, she extended her heartfelt congratulations to all cancer survivors, as well as her gratitude to all healthcare professionals for their tireless efforts and unwavering dedication to the well-being of cancer patients. Bank Rakyat is bringing back its personal financing IDIV-A and investment I account Risky Plus with new value add to its members. Entrepreneur Development and Cooperative Minister Dato Iwan Benedict said this initiative is to ensure that the bank's members would enjoy various benefits through the provision of products and service facilities aside from getting benefits from dividend payment. He said while prioritizing the well-being and prosperity of the people comprehensively, the products showed the commitment and generosity of the bank in ensuring the economic welfare and prosperity of its members are protected.
Mendapatkan pembiayaan yang bersesuaian daripada Bank Rakyat di bawah skim-skim yang sedia ada. Saluran untuk menyampaikan shore-shore, pandangan-pandangan yang boleh dipertimbangkan, diangkat kepada pengurusan tertinggi, kepada lembaga pengarah dan juga termasuk kepada kementerian.
He said this to reporters after officiating Bank Rakyat's annual general meeting 2023, which gathered 902 individual and cooperative members nationwide today. Meanwhile, Bank Rakyat Acting Chairman Dr. Muhammad Irwan Muhammad Mubarak said the launch of the new initiative is a proactive move by the bank in offering financial services that are comprehensive to appreciate and build the confidence of its members in Bank Rakyat. This time, the personal financing iDiva offers a fixed profit rate as low as 2.99% with a maximum financing of up to 400,000 ringgit and financing period of up to 10 years. Coming up, retiree loses 1.2 billion ringgit in phone scam. Stay with us. Online fraud is a big issue not only for Malaysia but for many countries. Deputy Minister of Communications and Digital Teo Dee Ching said this was from the findings of the G2G Ministerial Roundtable, Scams and AI Governance, which he attended on the sidelines of the 4-day Asia Tech X Singapore event that ended yesterday. The 2-hour ministerial roundtable was attended by representatives from 14 countries and was chaired by Singapore's Minister for Communications and Information, Josephine Teo. According to Teo Dee Ching, the government is also facing the problem of lack of cooperation among various platforms or over-the-top OTT providers, which are generally tech giants. There are OTTs, she said, that do not intend to have a dialogue. They are OTTs who are present in the meeting, but what they do still do not meet the standard or requirement that is needed to be imposed on them. According to her, many countries expressed their agreement with the views she voiced. A retiree who used to work in the private sector lodged a police report claiming that he suffered a loss of 1.2 million ringgit in a phone scam in April. Sarawak Police Commissioner Dr. Muhammad Azman Ahmad Sapri said the 66-year-old man from Miri district claimed to have received a phone call from the suspect who said the victim was involved in a money laundering case on 18 April. Dr. Muhammad Azman said the suspect then asked the victim to open 2 new bank accounts to facilitate the investigation. The victim opened a new bank account at 2 local financial institutions on 19th and 20th April before giving the banking information and password to the suspect. The suspect then instructed the victim to transfer money amounting to 1.2 million ringgit through 4 transactions from his M-Bank and Employee Provident Fund EPF accounts to their 2 newly opened bank accounts. Dr. Muhammad Azman said the victim only realized he had been cheated after checking the balance in his 2 new bank accounts and found that the money had been transferred to an unknown account in stages from 19th April to 3rd May. And Johor Police disconnected the electricity supply to 187 identified gaming premises across 13 police districts yesterday. State Police Chief Datuk Kamarul Zaman Mamat said the move was in accordance with Section 21A, Subsection 1 of the Common Gaming House Act 1953. He said police worked with Tenaga Nasional Berhad TNB to disconnect the power supply to these suspected premises on the 9th of June and hope to conclude the operation by 11 June. Under the Act, police personnel have the authority to arrest people found gambling in public places and are authorized to seize all related instruments and appliances.
Memastikan kegiatan penjadian haram ini dapat dihapuskan daripada terus berleluasa.
Met today, he said the operation involved 183 police personnel, 63 TNB staff members and 31 enforcement personnel from local authorities. Between January and June this year, 632 raids were conducted on suspected illegal gambling dens. Datuk Kamarul Zaman said the power disconnected at the premises would be monitored to ensure the operators will not resume their illegal activities. And in our foreign segment, 6 civilians killed in Somalia hotel siege. Stay with us. But first, federal prosecutors unsealed the wide-ranging indictment of Donald Trump on Friday, accusing the former U.S. president of endangering national security by holding on to top-secret nuclear and defense documents after leaving the White House. The 49-page charge sheet said the 76-year-old Trump, the front-runner for the 2024 Republican presidential nomination, took, quote, hundreds of classified government documents in cardboard boxes to his Mar-a-Lago residence in Florida. Trump kept the files, which included records from the Pentagon, CIA and National Security Agency, unsecured at Mar-a-Lago, which regularly hosted large social events involving tens of thousands of guests over time. On at least 2 occasions, Trump showed classified documents on U.S. military operations and plans to people not cleared to see them at his Bedminster, New Jersey golf club. Trump faces 37 separate counts in the indictment, including 31 counts of willful retention of national defense information relating to specific documents. A conviction on each count carries up to 10 years in prison. Italian special forces boarded a cargo ship sailing from Turkey to France on Friday after the crew were threatened by pirates off the Italian coast. Defense Minister Guido Crosetto said Marines dropped onto the vessel from helicopters after a number of stowaways used knives to threaten the crew. The ministry said the aggressors appeared to be migrants, though their nationalities were unknown. The ship was the Galata Seaways, a roll-on roll-off cargo ship designed to carry vehicles, sailing under a Turkish flag with reportedly 22 crew members. It set off from Topçular in Turkey on 7 June and was headed for Sète in southern France. Some 15 stowaways had boarded the ship in Turkey in the hope of reaching Europe, but were discovered by the crew. It was reported that the migrants tried to take some of the crew hostage inside the bridge. The drama unfolded as the ship, some 200 meters long and 20 meters wide, was sailing in Italian waters near the island of Ischia. The captain managed to radio for help, sending an urgent request to Ankara, which then alerted the Italian authorities. After special forces stormed the ship, some of the stowaways were arrested, but others barricaded themselves in the depths of the hold. Russia fired missiles and drones at targets across Ukraine in the early today, killing 3 civilians in the Black Sea city of Odessa and striking a military airfield in the central Poltava region. The attacks, in which a 29-year-old was also killed in northeast Kharkiv region, according to officials, were the latest in a spate of overnight strikes that Russia has intensified as Kyiv sets its sights on a major counter-offensive. The Air Force said the attacks involved 8 ground-launched missiles and 35 strike drones, adding that air defense units managed to down 20 incoming drones and 2 cruise missiles. Firefighters battled overnight to put out the fire in the high-rise block in the residential area of the city. The morning light also revealed a gaping crater in the ground several meters wide next to the damaged building and a children's playground. The emergency services said at least 27 other people, including 3 children, were hurt. Russia also fired drones and ballistic and cruise missiles at the Poltava region, inflicting some damage of infrastructure and equipment at the Mirhorod military airfield. 6 civilians were killed and 10 wounded in a 6-hour siege by Al-Shabaab militants at a beachside hotel in Somalia's capital, Mogadishu. Now, the attack at Lido Beach underscored the endemic security problems in the Horn of Africa country as it struggles to emerge from decades of conflict and natural disasters. The Al-Qaeda-linked militants have been waging an insurgency against the internationally backed federal government for more than 15 years and have often targeted hotels, which tend to host high-ranking Somali and foreign officials. The assault, for which Al-Shabaab claimed responsibility, began just before 8 p.m. local time on Friday, when 7 attackers stormed the Pearl Beach Hotel, a popular spot at Lido Beach, along Mogadishu's coastline. It ended at around 2 a.m. local time, police said, after a fierce gunfight between security forces and the militants, all of whom were killed during the battle. The security forces managed to rescue 84 people, including women and children and elderly people. Coming Coming up in sports, Steinbruckner blames referee for TFC's defeat to JDT. Stay with us. Now, the national sports arena has been tainted with another doping incident, this time involving an athlete who competed in the 2023 Malaysian Athletics Federation (MAF) Track and Field Championships at the MSN Mini Stadium, Bukit Jalil, last February. Without revealing details of the athlete, the anti-doping agency ADAMAS confirmed that the doping test result was positive for the use of a prohibited substance, or adverse analytical finding of sibutramine. Following this, the athlete has been suspended from participating in any other tournaments or competitions until the results of the hearing process are announced. ADAMAS also confirmed that the athlete did not compete in the 2023 SEA Games in Cambodia last month. The agency also promised that the entire process will be carried out transparently and in accordance with the ADAMAS Anti-Doping Rules 2021 and the International Standard for Results Management (ISRM). Sibutramine is a substance listed in the list of substances prohibited for use during competitions by the World Anti-Doping Agency. And in local football, 2 red cards received by the home team overshadowed a spectacular acrobatic goal worthy of winning any match. From Fernando Forestieri to see Johor Darul Tazim, JDT extend their impressive record after a 3-1 victory over Terengganu FC in a Super League match last night. The match started in grand fashion as more than 10,000 fans had filled the Sultan Mizan Zainal Abidin Stadium in Gong Barat, Kuala Terengganu. Both teams were evenly matched for the first 20 minutes before Forestieri produced a moment of magic to break the deadlock with a spectacular acrobatic kick from outside the box, stunning the home crowd. Awakened by the goal, Terengganu equalized 8 minutes later through a free kick taken by import Sonny Node. However, Node went from hero to zero when his tackle on Arif Aiman Muhammad Hanapi saw JDT awarded a penalty, which Bergson da Silva put away to restore the lead well into the first half, injury time. Into the second half, the home team suffered a severe blow when Montenegro import Arzim Redzovic was axed for a rash tackle on Forestieri in the 52nd minute, while substitute Ivan Mahmud was given the marching orders in the 74th minute for an elbow on Muhammad Feroz Baharudin. Down to 9 men, it was inevitable that JDT punished the home team when Endrick dos Santos made it 3-1 well into injury time of the second half. In post-match press conference, Terengganu head coach Tomislav Steinbruckner blamed Muhammad Fuzair Matsalis, refereeing, as the cause of his team's 3-1 defeat to JDT. He said that many of the referee's decisions were seen to be in favour of JDT, which caused his men's concentration to be affected, and they ended up having to play with 9 players in the second half after Redzovic and Mahmud were shown red cards. According to him, the referee should have been more sensitive to critical situations in order to make good and fair decisions for both teams.
This is not only that penalty and that red card, 1 and second. Also some foul in the middle when we have the good situation, danger situation to opponent goal, and some foul from behind. I saw a few times he makes some mistakes, but now we can say he maybe decided who is the winner. But you know, this is always have the 2 sides when we look to that. I cannot say he is wrong because we lost the match, but he has his finger in that.
JDT head coach Esteban Solari said Terengganu were a tough opponent and the total showed a lot of improvement compared to the first round meeting in the Super League earlier last year.
And this is what I think about the cards that the referee gave. Of course, it's not good for the team that is local to receive two red cards. But at the end, when you play a strong game and you are very aggressive, which is normal in football, you have the risks. We were controlling the ball, trying to play more the ball, and then we create also these situations. Finish. That's it. I only like that. Besides that, what's happened, the fans they have a good temper. That nobody make any problem, and was at the end a peaceful game.
And meanwhile, at the Darul Makmur Stadium in Kuantan, Sri Pahang FC fought back from a 2-0 deficit to emerge 4-3 winners over Negeri Sembilan. Sri Pahang skipper Kepa Sherman was the toast of his team when he struck the winner well into injury time after 90 minutes had ended. Negeri Sembilan, despite playing away from home, took the lead in the 8th minute through Harold Mark Gilon, while Muhammad Shahril Fikri Madfauzi added the second in the 15th minute. Pahang managed to reduce the deficit from the penalty spot through Stefano Brundo in the 23rd minute, but Negeri Sembilan quickly restored order when import Anselmo Arruda da Silva scored his team's third goal a minute later. Pahang coach Fandi Ahmad brought in David Rowley to beef up the fledgling strike force, and the move quickly paid dividends when he scored Pahang's third goal in the 79th minute. Brundo scored his second goal in the 90th minute through a magnificent free kick to make it 3-3, while Sherman made sure of all 3 points with an injury time goal. The Super League continued to be ruled by JDT after having collected 42 points, while Sri Pahang remained in 4th spot with 28 points, followed by Terengganu in 7th place with 20 points, while Negeri Sembilan remained in 9th spot with 18 points. And in tennis, Novak Djokovic made a huge leap towards a record 23rd men's Grand Slam title with a 6-3, 5-7, 6-1, 6-1 French Open semi-final victory against an ailing Carlos Alcaraz in a clash of titans that ended in anticlimactic fashion. In athletics, a week after shattering the world record in the women's 1,500 meters, Kenya's Faith Kipyegon had no expectations of a world-beating time in the 5,000 meters, a distance she had not contested in 8 years, but managed to surprise herself. Now, the 29-year-old produced a stunning performance to crush the world 5,000 mark at the Paris Diamond League, beating world record holder Letesenbet Gide of Ethiopia in the process. Kipyegon and Gide pulled away from the rest of the pack by the 3,000 mark. Gide, who had hoped to lower her own record, attempted to make a move down the final straight but could not keep pace with the Kenyan's powerful kick. Kipyegon passed Gide with about 700 meters remaining to cross the line in 14 minutes, 5.20 seconds, putting her hands across her face in disbelief when she spotted her time before collapsing in a joyous heap and receiving a hug from Gide. It has been an amazing week for Kipyegon, who is the first Kenyan woman to hold the 5,000 record. At the Florence Diamond League meeting last Friday, Kipyegon set a world record when she ran 3 minutes 49.11 seconds to break the 1,500 mark, or 3 minutes 50.07 seconds, set by Genzebe Dibaba of Ethiopia in 2015. And that concludes Malaysia Tonight. In our top story, government mulls 5 paddy planting seasons every 2 years. Till then, I'm Brendan Lepol, Malaysia Madani, Tekad Perpaduan Penuhi Harapan.